So far away, Lucas. We've done our recording for today. Why am I still on a call with you?
Because I have something that I want to promote on your behalf, I guess.
Oh, yeah. We do a thing. It's a podcast. Because everyone does podcasts now. So first things first, we're recording this video on January 12th, 2021. It's one of the first videos of 2021 that has been recorded. And if people watch this channel religiously, they'll know that just before the end of 2020, there was a video that went out that was just you guys, which mean like you, Lucas, Brad, and Nisha, just talking to people about the various projects they have outside the channel.
Yes.
Yep. And I abstained from doing that because, like, no, that's your time to promote your shit. And you mentioned to me, like, why didn't you mention the podcast? I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. Yes, we do one of those and have done one for about like a year and a half now, haven't we?
Yeah, there was a bit of a gap where I ended up changing platforms and stuff, but there's I think 62 episodes right now as of recording.
Yeah. As of recording, yes. And the story behind that is, it was like 2 years ago now, a service reached out to me that no longer exists and offered me money to make a podcast, which I took, and then the service died.
Yeah.
And then I realised, I like doing the podcast, like Lucas liked doing the podcast, and a lot of people were asking us about it. Because we got some kind of following, I guess, and I brought it back. And as of right now, as Lucas said, there's 62 episodes, and it makes £0. And Lucas, as the person who appears on it and edits it, you can just confirm that for the audience right now, yes?
Yeah, so as soon as we moved over to Spotify, which we are now on, the podcast has made no money, but Karl has still paid for me to appear and edit the podcast.
Because I'm a nice guy like that, and I wanted an excuse for Lucas to send me an invoice every single week. Because prior to at the time we started the podcast back up, you weren't doing Wiki Weekends, were you? Or something like that.
I think I was working part-time for Fiend and part-time back at Nando's.
Yeah, and we just both sat down and we worked out a way where you could, start moving more towards working online, and bringing back the podcast was the solution that we came up to. So, yeah, and I'm happy with that arrangement, but at the same time, it's not a good idea to just have something that's costing me money every week, as much as I enjoy it, and I'm glad that you have the opportunity to earn money doing something that you enjoy, aka making content online. Not talking to me, I'm not that full of myself, folks. But I guess we're making this video right now is to, one, let people know that the podcast exists, and two, see if people want to sponsor it. Because people reach out to me a lot asking to sponsor videos, but I guess they don't know the podcast is a thing. So maybe we can kill two birds with one stone here in that regard. Because I like doing the podcast. Because if 2020 has taught me anything, it's that every fucker on the planet has a podcast. To the point where I know people who have multiple podcasts that they do.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me to hear that, to be fair.
And it feels weird to say this, given that my job requires me to be a part of it, but I'm not too knowledgeable or all too clued up on internet culture. In my private life, I largely avoid all aspects of it. I don't like any aspect of internet culture besides I create the content and then just go do my own thing behind the scenes. But one of the things that I do know is that podcasts are big fucking business. So me having one and then not doing anything with it is probably a really bad idea from a financial and business standpoint. And at the end of the day, I am a businessman. Big Wangers Incorporated, represent.
Hell yeah.
So, and I do have access to this, platform because I own everything in relation to the channel. So it was, admittedly, a very stupid idea that it never occurred to me to, mention the podcast here until you told me.
I keep just saying to Karl, Karl, maybe we should, mention it, in a video. Yeah, whatever. We just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, and it's no, man, we need to talk about Reed Richards' elongated dong again. So I guess we should, tell people, what the podcast is. It's just me and Lucas chatting shit.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically what this video is now, but I'm not as nervous because I'm not on camera. And I'm even more dishevelled usually, so I don't fucking, make an effort when I'm on a podcast. Fuck it. Podcast day is pyjama day for me. I'm not fucking getting dressed. Yeah. Bollocks to that. I'm working in my pyjamas because my office is, 3 feet away from me right now. I'm not fucking moving. Bollocks to that. And I think you're in the same boat, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Where working online does afford, luxuries like that. But, yeah, I've got access to this platform to advertise stuff, and I never use it. And one of the reasons it's taken so long to make a video like this is I feel really weird about using the platform I have to promote my own stuff, and I don't know why that is.
Yeah, and it's really weird to me because I keep saying to you, like, look, at the end of the day, people come to FactFiend to watch like a video where we have conversations, and that's all the podcast is.
And even then, I still feel weird about doing it, even though, as mentioned, I own the channel. And I do everything behind the scenes, like in regards to like running the business side of stuff. And even I'm like, oh, but I don't know if I should do this. And then like you have to remind me, but Carl, you run it.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to ask people to do this. You run the channel, you can do what you want. I can, but I still feel weird doing it. So I don't know if that makes me a good person or a bad person to put in a position of authority. Because on one hand, I don't want to use it for my own personal ends. But on the other hand, that's a really stupid thing to do when you own everything and your success is directly tied to that.
Exactly, yeah. And it's really weird because I'm just there like, I feel bad that you're paying me but not earning any money week after week. I'm like, Carl, just get something back for yourself, man.
So I guess if you want us to earn money for our podcast and you got something you want to advertise, you can like contact us at the usual the FactFiend email address, a link to which you can find below, and just make me an offer that you feel is fair. I'm sure whoever edits this one can like put some numbers in a fact bar below, because you have those, don't you, Lucas? Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I have the Spotify, have like all of the stats and stuff that people will need.
And something I should point out is that those numbers will be instantly out of date the moment they appear on screen, because we've now directed presumably like 50, 60,000 people towards the podcast. So please keep that in mind when you make your offers. Thank you, Lucas, for making me do this, because you know I wouldn't have done it on my own.
No, I know, and I've like, as I said, I've mentioned it multiple times. It's just been like, Carl, promote the podcast, like earn some dollar from it, please.
And you can see my reluctance to do stuff like this in that video I recorded, when it was like you guys have an opportunity to plug your stuff. Well, I'm just super nervous to be stood in front of the camera on my own because I don't know what to say. Like, without somebody to bounce off of like I am now, I'm a wreck, I'm useless. Which is why I'm happy to pay to produce the podcast, because it means that you can now work from home permanently and appear in more videos, which means I've got more people to talk to when making these.
Yeah, that's much appreciated.
Because folks at home, I'm really fucking bad at business.